This is a quick review of the Eton E1100, which I've had for a little while now, and these are my thoughts. The main thing to say about this radio is that I didn't actually realise until it arrived exactly how small it is. It's only 12 centimetres across by 7 deep, which means it's very portable if you're travelling about, which I guess is a good thing if you're putting it in your luggage, but it also means that the loudspeaker on this side is rather small and therefore a bit tinny sounding. But then if you're using this primarily as a travel radio, I guess that's not a problem. It runs off 2 AA batteries, and I put a couple of rechargeables in there when it arrived. I don't know how charged up they were or not, but it's still going quite happily, so I get the impression it doesn't get through batteries that quickly. A couple of little niggles with this radio. There's the sound that I mentioned, and you might have seen just then or now that the frequency is moving on its own between 9.3 and 9.2, and every time it does that it turns the backlight display on. It's not a huge problem, but it's I don't know if it's supposed to do it. Maybe I've just got a dodgy model, I don't know. The frequency is changed by a rotary knob on the side. At the moment it's receiving BBC Radio 5 Live down here in West Sussex, and you will see if I turn the knob that it goes up not in steps of 9 or 10 but 1 kilohertz as you turn the knob, so that means I guess it could be easily used in America where the step size between the channels is 10 rather than 9. And if I turn the tuning knob, you will see that it goes all the way up. It doesn't stop at 1602, which is the top of the band in the UK. It goes all the way up to 1730 something, which means you can listen to interesting transmissions that mostly come from the Netherlands above the top of the medium wave. It's got an AM on here but no single sideband, as you would expect for a radio of this type. I paid £40 for this from Maplin, postage included, give or take a penny, quite recently. The other thing that's strange is when you go from one band to another, the frequency will change. So if I go down to, whoops, let's find a station down here. That's an independent local station, that's Gold. Now if I go onto the FM band, using this switch at the bottom, if I tune it up to a station, that's 104.8 is BBC Sussex. If I now go back onto the medium wave band, whoops, you can now see that it's changed to a completely different random frequency. Other than it was on 1323, it's now gone to 1396 for some reason. And if I go back to FM, okay, on this occasion it's still on 104.8, but it wouldn't be at all unusual for it to have switched to a different frequency altogether. So again, slightly strange, not a major problem, but just something to bear in mind. You know, if you don't know the frequency of your favourite local radio station, you might have to keep on hunting it down every time you use it. As well as FM, there's also some shortwave bands, as I say, AM only. FM, well on here it goes up to 109, down the other end down to about 86.4, there you go. The knob, you don't have to move it very much for the numbers to move quite a lot, so it can be quite fiddly sometimes to get it bang on the frequency you want. Now you see I've gone back to medium wave and it's gone down to 555 now, don't know why. But if I go back to 693, which is 5 Live from the BBC, it can sometimes be quite fiddly to get it bang on. Not that it really matters on medium wave, obviously it's more crucial on FM. On AM you can be a kilohertz or two out, and it doesn't really make a huge deal of difference unless it's a really strong signal. You've then got shortwave bands, which don't seem to coincide particularly with any particular amateur bands or broadcast bands or anything, but again it's the same setup really. You can use the rotary button to go up and down. I mean, this one here, that's 7,000 kilohertz, so that's the 40 meter amateur band going up. That's 40 meter. Then here, 41 meter broadcast band. Don't know if we can hear anything in here. I'm only using the rod antenna, and I'm not particularly near the window, so I don't know. There are other videos on YouTube where people have used this receiver to receive number stations, so I haven't really played around with it much on the shortwave. I've mostly used it for listening to FM and AM local stations. So to sum up, for the money it's not bad. The sound quality could be better, but then if you want better sound quality, maybe you should spend a bit more and buy a bigger receiver. This receiver would be ideal for taking on holiday where luggage weight and space in the bag is at a premium. For a general receiver to have around the house, well, if money's tight, then yes, it's not bad, but personally I would perhaps spend a little bit more, and if I'd realised the dimensions of this receiver and how small the speaker was, then I would have probably gone for the Eton E1100, which I think has also got long wave on it as well. But all the dimensions were there on the website, and it was my own fault for not checking it out or paying more attention really. So my impression, worth having, but probably not spending a lot of money to have, if you know what I mean. So that's the Eton E1100. I hope this review has been useful. Best wishes to everybody out there in YouTube land.